Let's have Martina next. And then Martina, if you sent me something, do you want to show it or do you want me to show it?
Let me see if I can figure it out. So it's just one photo, right? Oh yeah, I think I can click on it. Let's see. Yeah, it's working. Can you guys see it?
Yes, yes. All right, go ahead. Martina, can you turn on your camera so we can see you as well?
Yes. 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Oh, it's here. All right, can you see me? Because I don't see myself right now.
There's blue. Do you have a sticker
Oh, that's what it is.
or something?
Yeah. Sorry.
There you go. Perfect. All right, ready, set, go.
Okay. So these are the emergency remedies that I came up with for my children, especially, because now my children are at an age like 11 and 12. And so, for example, they went on science camp just a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, and you kind of have to almost like sign your life off, when you send them to school. And I was like, I really want something for them to empower them to have something on hand. So if it's just a little thing like, my belly hurts, or, like I have a bit of a headache, so that they don't necessarily go to the teacher right away. And they get like the typical Advil or ibuprofen or whatever the teachers would give them, So I wanted to make sure I have something to empower them, that I can teach them easily, that they have on hand, and obviously I taught them to use it. So these are like the emergency remedies that I came up with, and it's really something that they are familiar with, but they were not necessarily familiar like with the names, but I kind of playfully taught them over the years. So they're definitely arnica, is one of the remedies that obviously we've been using ever since they were little kids, especially with 2 boys. There's always like some kind of bump, like some kind of bruise, where they would just come running at me and crying, and I would be like, oh, let's put some arnica on it, either the gel or internally, and in most cases the boo-boo was actually taken care of, which was usually a good sign for me that I didn't have to worry more about it. So I chose for this kid, I chose, as you can, sorry, and the picture is kind of upside down. I chose arnica, I chose aconite, as the shock remedy. I chose bryonia, which I really like when I feel like when they get like an oncoming cold, like sneezing. And I know we don't usually combine, but I love the combination of aconitum with bryonia for that, because I've seen over the years that when, like usually when they sneeze more than 3 times, I'm like, okay, aconitum and bryonia, and in most cases it turns it around and we're done with it. Whatever, was like kind of approaching. Adium cepa, of course, for runny nose or allergies. Bruce talks, I kind of added to the kids just in case, when it's like a camping trip, or when they're science camp, when they're like outdoors, just in case they get exposed to poison ivy. I didn't really go deeper into that remedy for them. Apis, of course, for bee stings. Sorry about that. Okay, thank you. I had that situation with my little one. He actually walked our dog once and came running home screaming, and somehow like he got exposed to wasps, and he had like 7 wasp stings all over his body. I believe it was wasps. It could have been bees, but he came screaming, and I could tell what it was. And I gave him that Apis 200C, and literally within 2 minutes, the screaming, like he totally, and I gave him aconite too, but the screaming was like gone, and he started relaxing, and then all the swelling came down. And we were actually about to head out to an event, and we were able actually to head out within 15 minutes. It was just amazing to see the remedy work. And having these stories and these personal experiences, I always talk to my kids about that. And I explain to them from my perspective, and as much as I know, it's like, did you see how this worked? And so I, in a kind of playful way, I try to approach it and kind of get it closer to them, to have them, because they have really not known anything else than homeopathy ever since they were born. On the other hand, their dad, my husband, he is very much into allopathy. And so there's always like, especially, for example, now they're actually about to head to New York for like 10 days. And I'm like, this kid is definitely going to travel with them. But I cannot actually explain it to my husband. I will need to make sure my kids understand how these remedies work, so that they either call me or actually know how to use it, obviously in a very conservative way. Before going to their dad, who would approach the entire situation from a different perspective. And then, of course, belladonna for ear pain or sore throat. For fever, I actually prefer to use like a 6C, but I had to keep it very simple. And headache, throbbing headache. And then Nux vomica, of course, for anything with belly issues, and especially overindulgence. I tend to raise my kids very healthy and keep talking to them about how important nutrition is. But of course, when mama is not around, sometimes they indulge in the chips and whatever they can find, and sweets and candy. It's an amazing remedy after Halloween, after like the trick-or-treating, when the kids indulge in all that candy. It's an amazing, amazing remedy. I love Nux vomica for that. And then arsenicum album, of course, for food poisoning as well, but more, when the issue is on the other end, like diarrhea. And it works amazingly for our dog too, when she drinks like bad water somewhere that was infected with something, or eats something that she was not supposed to. I just mix 2 pellets in her water ball, and it's just amazing. Within like half a day, usually we're done with that issue. And then Lidum, which is which I like. I love the fact that it's like the homeopathic tetanus. So it kind of makes me feel good knowing that this is always around. And of course, you use it for puncture wounds, a dog or a cat bite, a tick bite, step on a rusty nail, any of these things. And then I actually add the Ignatia Amara specifically for my little one, and the ipecac. It's just because he has developed this odd, dry, nagging cough, which he's had for a long time, which kind of comes and goes. And I'm not happy about that combo, but this is the only thing I could figure out so far that has been helping that cough. So that's why I just add this to him, because when he gets that cough, it just keeps going on and going on for like hours and hours and hours. It's like, he says it's like a tickle. So that's why I add that remedy. And the bioplasma, of course, it's like a combination of the 12 cell salts, which I personally love as a first aid kit. And then what I do with the kids, I actually have like a little sheet that I wrote up for them, and I would show it to you, but I don't know how to change the image. Can you see this? Because I don't see myself right now in the video. I'm not sure if you can see this.
Yes, we can see it. We can't make out what it says, but we can see it.
Yeah, so pretty much it's a very, very, very simple. It's like the remedy name and just a couple of words, it's like, let's say like arnica, I put down, in case of major concussion, take every couple of minutes on the way to the ER. And then I say it's for head injuries, concussions, swelling, bruises. Then I say aconitum. you know, for shock of any kind, fear, can't breathe, oncoming cold, sneezing, heart attack, stroke, Nolan screw, cough, initial fever. Nolan is my son. Initial fever nor headache, feeling cold, shivering, and so on. So I just give them like a couple of keywords that I know they can relate to. And of course, every time when I actually send them off with that little kit, I go over the list with them and I play like this game. And I'm like, okay, so now let's say you get stung by a bee again. What are you going to take? And I'm like amazed how they just can put it together, you know, and it you know, it's just to empower them that way. And it was like interesting. My little one, my 11-year-old, the other day when I sent him off to science camp, I talked to him about arsenicum for diarrhea, and he said, you know what, my classmate, he has diarrhea all the time. I think I should give it to him. And I was like, no, please don't. Do not even show your teacher that you have that. I mean, you know, if his mommy wants to talk about homeopathy, I'm happy to connect him with my school, you know, or a homeopath. But please do not give it to other kids. This is really just to help yourself right now. So it's, you know, it's kind of a gray zone right now, especially because often teachers, they don't believe in any of,
I just want you to wrap up because that was your 10 minutes.
Oh, sorry. Okay. No worries.
It goes by quickly.
All right.
Does anyone have like a quick burning question for her?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's possible to get a list of all the things you have in it and what you send, like the paper. I would love to,
sure.
to read that.
Can we share, can we put in a chat images or no?
Yes, you can put that in the chat.
I'll try. Just ignore the last two where I talk specifically about Brian and the combo medicine, because that's really not for, you know, that's just what's specific to him. But
and if you can't figure out the chat, just send it to me and I can blast it out to everybody.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you. Well done. I mean, this is really homeopathy on the go, homeopathy firsthand when you really need it. So let's give some love to Martina. Well done. That was really great. Good job.
Bravo, Martina. Yay.
Good job.
Great job.
And I was actually looking for some things to put in a kit. I'm making my own kit too, so good idea.
Good.
Oh, perfect.
Good. That's great. Yes. All right.